Welcome to Ridiculously Serious, a brand new show where we are going to rank and draft completely subjective things in a completely serious manner. If you love rankings and drafts and also some dry comedy, this is absolutely the place for you. So we're going to kick this off. I have my two co-hosts with me. Up in the top right there is Joe, and in the top left we have Brandy, and they are going to help me out with this draft and then future episodes. So let's dive right into things to introduce our first ever draft, our first ever topic. What we are going to be doing today is we're going to be drafting letters of the alphabet to form a 5-person basketball team. So just so you guys know as the listeners, because I already went over this with my co-hosts here, you can draft them for any reason whatsoever. It doesn't have to strictly be basketball reasons. We're just forming a 5-person team. So the first thought was obviously a basketball team is 5 people, so that's why we went that route. But it is just a 5-person team made up of letters of the English alphabet. So we're going to get right into this thing. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a good time. First thing we're going to do is determine the draft order. So in order to do that, I have the random number generator up on my computer over here. So we are going to write down numbers. And when we write down those numbers, we are going to run the generator. And then whoever gets closest is not going to get the first pick. They're going to get to pick first of which pick of the draft they want. So guys, go ahead and write down a number anywhere from 1 to 100. And let me know when you're good to go. Well set. All right. Good. So let's run this 1 to 100. So the number is 64. The number is 64. So I went 68.
Wow, I thought 13. All of us were going to pick 69. I got 33.
33. Okay, so that is actually why I went 68, because I figured one of you two clowns would go 69, and then I would have everything underneath it and just completely choke you off there. So that was the game plan, which ended up working out. So I will go first. So normally I actually like the wraparound pick, which is pick 3, because then you get 3, 4, and I think it's big to get that second round pick first. But I will say I've done a lot of prep for this ridiculous thing. Like there's actual research to be done. And my entire draft hinges on getting one letter. So I'm going to pick first to make sure I get that letter. So then I believe Brandy was next. You said you were in the 30s, right?
33.
Yep. So you are next. So would you like the second or the third pick?
Third, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's a good choice. I think I would go wrap around there as well.
Yeah.
So Joe, which pick would you like?
I will take the remaining pick, the second pick.
It's a great choice. It's a great choice. All right, so let me write down this order here. So we got Mike, Joe, Brandy. All right, so we're going to kick this thing off with the first pick of the draft. And I will say, like I said before, my draft hinged on this pick. But it doesn't seem like the flashiest pick in of itself, but it really works for my strategy. So I'm going to be picking the letter N, as in November. So it's a strong pick. I don't want to go into my full reasoning because future picks revolve around it. But in of itself, N it's just a good letter. Like it's so versatile. It can do so many things. And like, listen, you're playing a game like Wheel of Fortune or something. N's going to be one of the first choices. Like it's just common. It's everywhere. So I think if you're starting a team, you got that solid building block.
Yeah, so the thing I like about N is also the thing I dislike about N. It's kind of like a left side, strong side kind of thing where, think about pushing the letter N from the right to the left. If you push it from the right to the left, it's probably going to stay pretty stable due to, the where it's rooted to the ground.
Sure.
If you push it from the left to the right, though, I think it's very, very weak.
That makes sense. I get where you're coming from. Very almost like top heavy. Like it wouldn't be moved easy, but it might kind of get off balance and topple over.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's solid. You know what?
Yeah.
That's
argument.
That's a sound argument. That's a sound counterpoint. Like I said, I still love my strategy, so we'll see where it goes. But I did not ever think of it from that direction. So all right. So Joe, you are up with the second pick of the draft.
All right, I thought about this for a while, and I'm going to go with the letter A.
Okay.
Wide stance, as well as that stability bar right in the middle.
Sure.
Coming up, not very top heavy, pointed at the top. I think A is a perfect character to pick first.
So this is going to be interesting because you are definitely coming at it from a very physical angle, which I definitely appreciate. I will say that I did not go that direction with my reasoning. So this is going to be a nice, interesting, difference of opinions for the reasons that we went the directions we did. Also, this is a good time to bring up, because I did forget to mention this in the intro, you, the viewers, will be voting, if you so choose, on these teams. At the end, I'm going to post a poll in the video description, and also I'll put it up online somewhere. So if you're listening to the podcast, you can get it through that, where you will vote on whose team you liked best, and that's how we'll decide the winner each week. So that'll be a fun little extra thing to do. All right, so A, I like it. I can't. The only thing, I just feel like vowels are slightly weak. I don't know why. I don't have like a reasoning for it. I just, maybe it's the Wheel of Fortune thing, honestly, where you have to pay for a
I've never
vowel.
liked a vowel.
Yeah,
I've never liked the vowel
that I like.
You always need them, though. It's like a necessary evil.
You do need them. That's fair. That is fair. Makes sense. All right, Brandy, you get the wraparound. So you got picks 3 and 4. Let's see what you're going back to back here.
All right. I have an overall vision for my team.
You have to.
It has already gotten derailed.
Oh, no.
But
Which one? Which one? Who derailed it?
I'm still going to try to keep it together as best as I can. So I'm not going to reveal.
Okay, fair enough.
Who derailed my plan. And I'm just going to kind of see how it works out.
Sure.
From here on.
Maybe she was trying to throw us off with the vowels, and her plan was A-E-I-O-U. And that's why she started saying she didn't like vowels, She was trying to throw us off the scent. You still got Y.
Am a liar.
Y can be a vowel.
Sometimes. So I think I'm going to start off with M.
Okay.
Because it has for the same reasoning behind N, but so much more stability. Solid power base. There is no killing M.
Sure.
Okay.
For any team on any sport.
Yeah, you're getting boxed out by M all day.
Yeah.
I agree.
All day.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's definitely got a solid base.
Probably similar to, a Shaq kind of thing. Gets tired easily, probably gets real sweaty.
It is a bigger boy. It's a bigger body.
Yeah.
I can see some sweat happening.
Yeah.
With M, but I don't think that's a bad thing. That just proves they're working the hardest.
Listen, sometimes if you get sweaty enough, I mean, I don't know. We didn't really say we're doing like NBA style basketball. This could be like pickup basketball. And I know when I played pickup basketball, I did not want to defend the sweaty guy. So maybe if M gets real sweaty, maybe it gets in the box and guys just kind of give him some space.
It's a strategy.
Just hits that turnaround J.
M purposely doesn't wear deodorant for that reason.
So that is a major rec league strategy right there.
You need it.
All right, so you got the second pick.
Yes. So I'm going to follow up M with O.
Okay.
Because I feel like don't entirely know how to explain my feeling for O.
Well, we thought you didn't like vowels.
Solid. Okay. O is the exception to the vowel rule because O is so solid and so wholesome that I really don't think you can go wrong with it. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I like O in that it is well-rounded.
Oh, we're starting that early.
Yeah,
I'm gonna leave the podcast.
Bye. No, but at the same time, that well-roundedness can, add to. There's no specific area where O is superb. So,
sure, jack of all trades but master of none. Sure, yeah. You know what? Every team needs one of those guys, though.
Sure.
Master of all trades.
Could be that too. I will say, we'll see. I'll ask you at the end if I was right. I think I know what your strategy was, and I love it. We'll see if I'm correct. but I think I have an idea of what you were going for.
I am a very easy read, so you're probably correct.
I think I do, because I had a very similar thought, which you'll see potentially here, depending on Joe's pick.
I have my hypothesis too, and it's actually something that I thought about doing as well. But
all right, well, let's see where you did decide to go, because you have your second pick now in the second round.
Yeah, so I decided to go in a totally different direction of what I think Brandy is doing. My second pick is going to be the letter J.
Oh, okay.
For a couple reasons. J was up for a first pick, but I decided to take A first, mainly based upon that wide stance. But J, I really like J for a couple reasons. One, the hook at the bottom, that's going to lead to an incredible hook shot in a, pinch situation.
But it's at the bottom.
J, that's okay.
You get a hook shot from the ground?
Yeah, why not?
Like granny style?
While you're falling, whatever. Anyway, tall, slim, slender, probably easy to get around. And one of the things that's interesting about J, that most letters do not have this as a feature, but think about how you write the letter J. Some people will write it just as the hook.
Sure.
Some people will cross the line over the top.
Sure.
So that could be an asset on both offense and defense.
Sure. I was actually going to ask you how you were gonna write it, but I like that you're building that versatility into the pick, as opposed to just saying I'm narrowing it down to this version. You're saying, no, I get the letter, I get all versions.
Sure, absolutely, yeah.
Sure.
The arms out on the top, total defensive position.
Sure.
Yeah, just T-pose all day, or J-pose.
J-pose.
Yeah.
Uppercase J with the line on top pose, yeah.
Are you a line or no line, Jay?
Personally, as someone who has a first name that starts with J, I have always been a line.
Okay.
Although I primarily write in cursive.
That's I can't even respond to that. I don't even know who write in cursive.
Yeah.
I thought we stopped doing that after like the 4th grade.
Most people did. I did not.
So I've actually just now realized I don't know if I am a line or no line type of person, because I wrote J for Joe's name. I'm keeping track of everyone's picks.
Sure.
But then when Joe chose J, I also wrote that down. And for some reason, I did not cross the J for Joe, but I did cross the J for J.
So you wrote differently both times. So when you think about it, you're a line J. But when you don't think about it, just naturally, you're a no line J.
Yeah.
It might have to do with if it's in a word or solitary.
That's a good point.
If it's in a word, maybe you're just on to the next letter already. But since you did a
good point.
Lone J, you crossed it. I don't know.
Regardless, terrible letter and terrible choice. Good luck with your team.
All right. On that note, I got very scared there. As you'll see, when I saw your mouth start to do that shape and then I heard just start to happen, I nearly had a panic because, like I said, my entire strategy, N is a solid pick, but without getting these next two, I think it goes from being a first rounder to like a 4th rounder. And then it's just a huge reach and I'm already in the bag, I'm already at a huge loss of value. So I'm very happy that you said J instead of what my pick was going to be, which is G. So I'm going to make these picks at the same time because it's really a reasoning that goes together. So my second round pick will be G. My third round pick will be I. So my entire reasoning, which is why I think I know what Brandy was doing, is because I now have ING, which is, you're playing a team sport. Is there a sport that's as chemistry related as basketball? You need guys that know how to play together. That you need guys that you're going for that no look pass and your teammate's going to be in the lane, right? What letters in the English alphabet have more chemistry than ING? They make words. You think about how they change words. You could be a fly. Who the hell wants to be a fly? You die in 24 hours. You just buzz around, you annoy people, you fly. Or you could be flying. And now everybody wants to be flying.
Verbs, man.
They make an entire branch of the English language. They transform it. They are absolute lockstep with each other. So I went the very team-oriented route, and that was why it was so important. I didn't think I or G would get picked, which is why I saved them for the second and third picks. I thought N had a chance to go, so that's why I went first overall. But really, as you can see, like, my strategy really revolved around getting all three of them. Otherwise, it was going to be, an uphill battle from that point on if one got stolen. So that was my reasoning. That's why I went that direction.
Yeah, that's I like that. I don't necessarily think that individually the letters are super great.
No, not at all. I would agree with you.
But I do agree that the teamwork. Would I have done them as my first three? No, I probably would have risked it and done it later.
Sure.
In order to get that teamwork, just because they're not super strong independently. Sure. But respect on that. I like it.
Like I said, I think the best of them, the N, is maybe a fourth round, probably third. I could see an N as like a third round by itself. But I agree. I think individually, like, if it was any other circumstance, you'd say like, oh, those letters they're fine. They're fine. But I think as a unit, they were worth kind of taking that chance, early in the draft, trying to lock them in, I think.
Yeah. So, I get that.
So, yeah, so that is my third pick. So, Joe, back to you now for your third pick. You have A and J so far.
Yeah, so next up for me is going to be the letter Q.
Okay.
Reason being, I really wanted something super unique. And I kind of figured Q is the way to go here. When we get towards the end of the alphabet, there's a lot more unique letters like X and Z as well.
Sure.
Z and Q, they're the least common letters in the English alphabet. I like Q's style a little bit more. It's a little bit more flowy. Then Z is a little bit more, kind of clunky and jagged. So
sure.
I went with Q over Z. 10 points in Scrabble.
That's fair. You know what? The way I see it, if you're like I said, I didn't really approach this, as you can see from how I argued for my team, I didn't really approach this from a physical standpoint. But since your team is clearly looking at it that way, the first thing that comes to my mind is Q's got the little, the little dash that could be like a little springboard. Like, I think Q's going to get some air. Like, Q is the guy on your team that's going to dunk.
Sure.
Like, for sure.
Yeah. Q's the sleeper, honestly.
It's a good pick. The only issue that I have with Q, because I thought the Q route too, because I do like everything you said about it. My only issue with Q is the way I see it is like, you just don't know what you're going to get out of it. Like, it's got high upside. Like, Q could be your star, but Q could be the guy that after a game or two, you're like, why'd I draft Q? Like,
glass cannon.
Gonna have to bench him. Like, so I respect. Listen, in the third round, I think you got to go for those types of picks. Third round is a great spot to take that high upside, low floor pick. So I like it. I respect it.
Respect the Q.
Respect the Q. All right, Brandy, back to you for the bookends. You have picks 3 and 4.
All right. Right. So, as I'm sure you know, my overall theme I was going for here, I'm gonna take. I'm debating if I should have reorganized my team choices and had a backup plan, but I'm still gonna roll with it. So I am going to take both L and P.
Yes. Okay. So I was correct in what your strategy was. I knew I could wait until you did those. So you were trying to really lock up that LMNOP, which I love.
Team element of LMNOP.
Love it.
There's just nothing works more fluidly than LMNOP.
I'm not even gonna try to argue with your picks because I love it. Honestly, it's the exact route that I ended up going, and I thought about that as well, the LMNOP. But
I thought somebody might. But I was like,
to me, it was so risky
that you would reorganize. It is very risky, and I thought either LM or N was gonna get snatched up almost immediately.
It's almost like we were talking about the glass cannon with Q as a player. To me, LMNOP is the ultimate glass cannon draft. Because if you would have gotten it, I would have been prepared to, like, we would still do the poll, but I would have been prepared to just call the draft and say that you won.
Concede.
Yeah, like you would have won if you managed to lock up LMNOP. But the problem is now you're a man down, and it still works, but now you have LMOP. Like, I had to think about that because I didn't even, my brain couldn't process where the break was. So, like, it's good, but you're missing the meat too. The end is right in the middle. So now you're missing that meat.
It's all right, because I think I have a pick that can completely make up for my loss of N.
I'm excited then. I'm excited to see it because I love the strategy, and if you think you can overcome that obstacle, I'm excited to see it for one.
I'm ready to tackle this hurdle.
Yeah, I'm thinking LMNOP is 5 pieces of Exodia, but when you're missing one, I don't know.
They're pretty. They're pretty weak on their own. So I think it's gonna heavily rely on what that makeup pick is. Like, if you do have that strong 5th pick where we kind of see it and we're like, you know what, she's right, that does work. And because right now you have like the best 4. The problem is, to make it the best 5, you need that N, which you can't get. So I think it's going to rely heavily on that last pick. So
we will see.
We'll see what happens there. All right, Joe, number 4 in the middle.
All right. Interestingly enough, we all went for letters that go together.
Mm-hmm.
You with the ING, Brandy with the LMNOP. My last pick was Q. You can guess what I'm getting this time.
I do. I know where you're going.
This guy, he is picking up. He's like basically a basket himself. He's picking up every rebound, and he's relying on his man Q to score the points. This is Shaq and Kobe, right here.
Hit me with it. I know it's coming.
It's you.
Oh, you're going to show you. Oh, I actually didn't know what was coming. I was not on the same. I thought.
I had no idea what you're going for here.
Really?
I'm going to be honest. I am dumb, and I have not a clue.
I got to be completely honest. I thought you were going to say K. I thought you were going Royal Flush because you have AQJ. I thought you were going to go. I thought you were going to go K and T. I thought you were going to try to round out that poker, the Royal Flush.
Solid strategy.
How does you go with this? I'm trying to figure out. Oh, Q and U. Okay, I got you. I thought you were saying your whole team went together, but you're saying these last 2 picks go together. Oh, yeah. No, that actually, now that I know what's happening, understand it, I love the pick. That's dynamic duo.
Yeah, I figured they pretty much always go together, and they complement each other really well. And one of the most important things here is that, my whole team doesn't go together, but at least I have some synergy here with these.
Sure.
Interesting that you noticed the Royal Flush kind of thing going, because I didn't notice that. I had no idea until you just said it.
I'm just always trying to find patterns. Like, that's how my brain works. I'm just trying to find patterns in things like constantly. And you're a poker guy, so I figured that's where you're going with it. But no, when you have Shaq and Kobe, you just need supporting players. Like you said, you only got the 2 that go together, really, but like that's all you need when they're that strong. I'd have a hard time thinking of a stronger 2. Maybe like a CH or a TH, because those round out words and stuff. But like those stand so strong on their own, though. The Q and U, they're like
inseparable.
Yeah, absolutely. I do like that you picked them in the correct order too. I do like that you went Q then U instead of U then Q. I think that actually makes it better.
Q was going to go first if it was going to go, so I figured I had to get on that.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, so I am going to finish my draft since I have the wraparound here, 4 and 5. So this is going to be interesting because I have my 4th pick, which I'll reveal, but I don't really have a 5th pick because I did some prep and stuff, but it was really going to depend on the route that you guys went. And you just went a route that I wasn't really expecting. So now it's kind of a toss-up for me for that last pick. My 4th pick, though, which I think is actually like a potential first overall pick, and I'll explain why, and I'm so happy to get it in the 4th round, is X. Ooh. The big X. So here's why. So think about when you see X's in the wild, right? You got X marks the spot. It's buried treasure. Like, who is more excited, than somebody that finds buried treasure or fight? You don't even have. That's how good X is. You don't even have to find the treasure. If you find a treasure map that has an X on it, like, you're just hyped to see that X. Like, you don't even have the treasure in your hands yet. So you got X marks the spot. You got triple X. Like, you see triple X, this is cool. I like this. This is dope. You got X Files. Who doesn't love aliens? Right? You got xylophones. Right? Xylophone. Who doesn't love a xylophone?
I'm not with you on the xylophones one. You went a little
I'm
too
not
far.
with you on the xylophone.
All right, I should have dialed it back.
When I see X, I think don't go there. I think danger. I see triple X. I think death. None of these are screaming, this is a good thing to me.
Keeps guys away, though. Like, if you think danger, like, that guy's a danger out on the court. Like, that could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing, but it could be a good thing. Like, oh, that guy's dangerous out there.
That could be a liability, is what that sounds like.
We're not really worried about health and safety. We're worried about scoring buckets.
Fouling?
Yeah, I mean, listen, if he goes for 30 points, 8 boards, and 5 assists, and then fouls out, I think we can be happy with that as a team. I think we can say that's a job well done. Certainly worthy of a 4th round pick at this point.
Yeah. All right.
So that's why I went. And now, like I said, the 5th pick, it's honestly tough because I really wasn't sure where I wanted to go. I could have went the more physical route because, as you guys have heard, I haven't really done like a physical thing. I went a different route, so I could have rounded it out with like a physical one. It was tough. It honestly was tough, but I think I'm gonna go with what's in my heart. I think I'm gonna speak. You have to be true to yourself when you're drafting. So I'm gonna take the letter B, as in boy. Now you might look at it and say it's underwhelming. It's unassuming, right? But let's dive a little deeper. First of all, it's fun. It's a fun letter. Think about words that start with B. Bam, boom, bang. Like, it's fun. Bonk. Bonk's a great one. Thank you. Bonk. That's great.
Bubbles.
See, there you go. Like, they're fantastic, right? Now, also, I'm glad you said bubbles because my other line of reasoning was B is a very common double letter. Like, a lot of words have double B. So it's almost like B can be in 2 places at once. So if you're out on the court, it could be guys like the Flash. You know what I mean? Like, he's just all around. He's in 2 places at once. You don't know how to guard him. He's just there. All right? And the last reason that I had, and probably the most important, turn B sideways. Right? Upways, you got boobs. Downways, you got butt. Right? It's the ultimate representation of goodness. Right?
I cannot argue that logic.
You can't. It's inarguable.
All right. So I thought about B. I'm going to say that B is very similar to your N in that it's one side good and the other side maybe not so good. Like, maybe this lends to versatility, though. Maybe we got like the flat side and the curved side, and it be versatility, but I don't know.
Listen, I think they work together. I think I built a team that has a great 3-man core with 2 flashy players. I got X running the point, and I got B just pulling up, dropping 25-foot threes, while I and G are just completely dominating the inside game, working in tandem, setting pick and roll, just absolutely, you got that 3-person squad. You got like the triangle offense. That's basketball, man. Triangle. You got the 3-man unit, and then 2 superstars running around doing their thing. I'm happy with it. I had the exact draft I wanted. I wasn't sure if we were going to step on each other's toes at all with this. I figured there'd be some overlap.
Yeah.
I couldn't be happier that I ended up with the ones I ended up with, honestly. So I'm thrilled. I think I'm looking at these. I got to say I'm a strong favorite right now. I got to say I'm a strong favorite.
Oh,
That's just how I see it.
Okay.
That's how I see it.
All right.
All right, Joe, round us out.
All right,
Or
so
round
who's
you
gonna be my fifth man here? And this is pretty crazy. I am actually getting all 5 of the picks that I kind of set out to get.
Sure.
I didn't have to change anything. This one I had a backup. Actually, I had 2 backups because I really thought that someone was going to take this letter sooner. But as my fifth man, you know, in basketball, you need a fifth man for the team. You put them on the end to round everything out. What do you put on the end of words the most often? You put an S.
Yeah.
You pluralize.
I figured that was coming.
You pluralize. You put that S on the end. This is what I'm doing here. I'm putting the S on the end. It's a versatile letter. It's the most common consonant in the English language. Only gets you 1 point in Scrabble, but you can do anything with it.
Definitely a safe pick.
Safe, definitely safe, and I think it rounds out my team. You know, I've got my big man, my defensive player in A. I've got like the flashy player with J. I've got the superstar team of Q and U together.
Sure.
And then I've got the everyman S.
So I will say, I went the B route. I went the flashy route. S was one of the other ones in contention. I really struggled with that. So I can't really talk too badly about your pick there because I really struggled with going back and forth because S to me is like the complete opposite of B. It's the not flashy, very consistent, like kind of what I was saying before, about the glass cannon with, I think it was with the O or the M from Brandy's team. S is like you're getting the same output every night and you're thrilled with it. You're getting the same output every night. You're saying, I'm going to put S out on that floor and he's going to give me, this stat, this stat, this stat. I know I'm getting it. Great. That's what we need as a team. So I like it.
I think the curvature of S, the way the actual letter is shown, kind of shows a lot of agility and endurance. It goes the whole path around these things. And
I can see it.
You can see S, running in S's around the court.
The only thing I would say for downside, because again, I do like the pick. I don't know, like Q and U, great team. I don't see A and J the same way you do, though. So I'm a little worried that your team doesn't have that top end. Like, because S is a very safe, very consistent pick, but I'm a little worried that your team doesn't have that guy, that LeBron or that Jordan or whatever, that's going to really, like, carry you through, the game.
So that's QU together.
What if one gets injured?
I agree. I agree that is a problem. And, there's certainly a lot of letters that I could sub in for Q to go along well with you.
Sure.
But there's not a lot. If U gets out, there's not a lot that I can put in with Q. So that would be a problem.
Yeah. You know what, though? Injuries happen. They're part of the game. You can't really you can't bank on them.
We're not talking injuries here. We're talking
that's fair.
The votes are going to be best 5-man team.
That's fair. All right. Brandy, round us out. Brandy. What do we got?
Right. So my reasoning behind my final pick, LMNOP was going to be the strong team.
Sure.
They obviously work well together.
Instant win.
Yes. I lost my N. I think N was a strong contender. Not the strongest on the team.
Sure.
But definitely held the team together a little bit. I feel like they're kind of struggling without their N. But I feel like on their own, M and O are pretty solid players.
Sure.
Pretty solid.
Yeah, I see it.
L and P are just kind of consistent. I feel like they're reliable.
Sure.
They show. My all-star for my final pick is going to be F.
F. Okay. That's not what I saw coming, I will say.
Oh, okay.
So, structurally, yes, F may be top heavy. F may be skinny, have small legs. But think about the power that F holds.
Okay.
F is dangerous. F is a wild card. And F is capable of literally anything. So if you're in a pinch, F is going to come through. It might not be every game, but F is going to kill it. Frequently.
I could see it. It wasn't. I was thinking of a few letters from the way you were talking of like what I think that would be, and F wasn't on that list. but I have to say that I do understand your reasoning, and you're kind of winning me over a little bit. My only issue is I don't know if that's enough to overcome the LMNOP attempt and fail. It's good. I think it brought you back into things.
4 out of 5 is still a solid cooperative team.
Yeah.
And you just need F to kind of bring the morale and get them all back together. They know they lost N, but F is going to make them forget that they lost N.
Sure.
F is going to make up for N and more.
Yeah. No, you know what? I think that gives you a chance. Like I said, I think your draft was highly reliant on that 5th pick, and I think you explained it and reasoned it well enough that I think you're definitely back in with a shout. As far as the best.
Entirely happy with my team.
I will say. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say about F in particular. I'm kind of thinking back to in Pokemon when Ash evolves Charmander to Charmeleon and to Charizard, and it's his strongest Pokemon by far, but he can't control it. I think F is that kind of character. Like you might have F like, throwing a drink on the sidelines, or like, punching a camera or something like that when he's out in public one day.
I also believe that F is that character.
Yeah.
And for that exact reason is why I chose F.
Like I'm thinking Dennis Rodman. That's the actual player that I'm thinking.
The thing though about Dennis Rodman is if you're going to go that route, they loved him he's a great clubhouse guy. That was a guy that great for team morale. Mm-hmm. So you can get 2 types of superstars like that. You get the one that's egomaniac and terrible for team morale, or you get the one that's like a clown and great for team morale. Everybody loves him. So I think it really depends. Like you said, it's not even so much about F being uncontrollable. It's which direction F goes. Are they the team morale crazy person, or are they the get this guy away from us crazy person? And I think that's really what it's going to hinge on. But I have to say, I like the teams. I do. I still think I'm ahead in this one, but I like the teams. I will say I'm disappointed. There's one aspect of it I'm disappointed in. I was really, really hoping somebody would pick D, because I had a whole rant about how D is the worst letter in the alphabet prepared, which now I want to use anyway because I have to, just for content, because I had this all prepared, and I'm a little surprised nobody picked D, honestly, because it's kind of a popular letter. My whole thing is like, they're the ABCs, right? And at some point, I have to imagine when they were deciding, like somebody was like, hey, alphabet's kind of a long word. It's not fun. Like, what do we call it so we can maybe, I don't know, like sing it in a song or something? And somebody was like, let's call it the ABCDs. And the other person was like, oh, that sounds terrible. God, no. That's awful. And then, that one guy, and then that one guy who's always in the back of the class and like half listening, and then he like copies 90% of an answer as his own and then gets credit. That guy just piped up from the back. He's like, how about the ABCs? And everybody's like, yes, like that's it. You've done it. You're a genius. So like D was that letter that like, it's that first letter that just doesn't make the cut. Like D is just like, they were like, get that D the hell away from me. I don't want to see it again. I'm mad it's even here in the first place. So I'm very disappointed that nobody took D. Because I had that locked and loaded. I had that ready to go.
I think we all knew that D was not good, so we weren't going to fall into that, dude.
I'm slightly offended that you think either of us would choose D.
Okay, you know what? At least we're on the same page then. That bodes well for future episodes because we're on the same page for that line of reasoning. So I dig it. So just to recap, I took N, G, I, X, and B. Joe took A, J, Q, U, and S. Brandy took M, O, L, P, and F. So those are the teams. I'm going to put up a poll. It'll be most easily accessible in the description of the YouTube channel. For the podcast, I'll have to figure out where I can put it. I'm going to try to put it in the description. I don't know. I haven't done a description for a podcast yet, so I'm not sure if I can stick it there. I'm going to try. It'll just be a link to like a Google poll. And we will have you guys vote on the best team. And then we will announce those results at the beginning of next week's episode. So thanks for tuning in today. Hope you guys enjoyed, what we had to offer. We're going to have some great great topics in the future. We're really going to dive into the ridiculousness of this entire concept. If you're watching on YouTube, please drop a like, give us a subscribe, hit that bell, anything you can to help us out moving forward here. Give us more reason to do more of these if you liked it, keep us motivated. So thank you so much for doing that. For those of you listening on to the podcast, stay tuned, for the next episode that'll be coming out. We're going to try to do these at least once a week. So keep an eye out for that. And thanks for joining us today, guys.
Peace.